Hi everyone, CJ. Hope everyone's doing well in our CC community, and it was great to kick off week 14. And this video is an opportunity to learn the new grammar that we covered today in week 14. So let's get started. So I always start with math. So with math, we were learning about linear equations, and I thought it would be a good idea to learn the linear equations with a familiar song, which I chose, If You're Happy and You Know It, Clap Your Hands. So it was a very catchy melody, and it goes like this to learn the linear equations. 2.54 centimeters is an inch. 12 inches equals a foot. 5,280 feet equals a mile. 1 kilometer, 5/8 mile. Alright, so we kind of take that song at the end and stretch it a little bit. And I found it was pretty catchy, and hopefully that will be catchy for your kids. And you can use that melody too to have them learn the linear equations. So that's math. Next, let's talk about Latin. So Latin, we're going to be doing the noun cases in week 14. Again, it's a repeat from week 13, and what seems to be working that I sense in the classroom is the kids are getting familiar with the tune of Three Blind Mice in stating the noun cases. So I think they're doing a really good job with that. And just real quick, let's go ahead and I'll cover that melody for you again. And it goes like this. Noun cases. Noun cases, nominative, subject, genitive, possessive, dative, indirect object, accusative, direct object, ablative, object of the preposition. Noun cases. Alright, so that's Latin. And next, let's go ahead and talk about science. So with science, we are learning what are 3 kinds of rock. What are 3 kinds of rock? And the way that we learned about 3 kinds of rock in class was I went ahead and used a familiar song for probably more of the parents than the kids, and that is Queen's song of We Will Rock You. So I felt like it was pretty appropriate with the subject. So the tune of that melody with the new grammar goes a little bit like this. So we have the kids in the class do the motion of what are 3 kinds of rock? What are 3 kinds of rock? Sedimentary, metamorphic, and igneous. Those are 3 kinds of rock. So when I was doing it in class, I kind of was doing it to the same speed of the actual song. So when you go through the 3 kinds of rock, sedimentary, metamorphic, and igneous, you may want to slow down just a little bit, make sure that they know the words. As they learn it, you can get a little bit faster with that melody. So, alright, so that's science, and next let's cover English. So with English, we are moving on to the subject of a helping verb. And with a helping verb, I went ahead and stayed with the Christmas theme and came up with a familiar Christmas jingle, and that was jingle bells, jingle all the way. So with that melody, I used that to cover English with helping a verb. And this is how it went. A helping verb helps another verb assert action, being, or existence. That's a helping verb. Hope that was okay to add at the end. That's a helping verb. Not part of the actual Memory Master work, but it's a way that you can try to learn the definition of a helping verb. So, all right, and with timeline, this week we just had some fun and used the voice cube. My girls had actually put together their own ideas of some voices to use. Some were the same as in the past, and some were kind of new. So that was what we did with Timeline. And History. With History, we went ahead and did some hand motions to the actual song that's on the CC CD. And I'll go ahead now and kind of review some of the hand motions that we did. And the subject was, tell me about trade in Africa. So I'll go through the grammar and I'll stop at some of the hand motions that we did. So tell me about trade in Africa. In 700, Ghana was known as the land, and with land, we went with our hands like this to indicate land, of gold. So with gold, we pretended we were Olympic athletes and put our hands up in the air. That seemed to be catching on with the kids. From last week, we used that same hand motion for gold. So the Mali nation took, so we used a hand motion for took, and that was kind of clamp our fists like this, like we're taking away something. We've taken it. We took it. So took control of the gold. Put our hands up again. Trade. And trade, we did this last week, where we put our hands back and forth like this, like we're trading cards. In 1240, and established Timbuktu. With Timbuktu, which is a very funny word, and a long word, all we did was use the symbol for this, for the letter T, for Timbuktu. As a center of trade, so we do trade motion again, culture, and learning. And with learning, this is the motion we did. We had our hands sticking out like this, like we are reading a book, and then we quickly move our right hand up to our head like this. So, learning. And now we continue on and say, by the mid-1400s, the wealthy and powerful Songhai. So Songhai is again a repeated word that we had last week, and we had a motion for that. That was to pretend like you're playing a guitar in a song. Empire controlled trade, again, in Western Africa. Okay, so those were the hand motions for history. And you can rewind the video to replay those and learn them again if you want to. Those hand motions for your new grammar for history. All right, and then last is geography. We simply just grabbed out the maps. Kids went ahead and identified the geography for ancient Africa, and they really did a great job and did well with that, I thought. So if you have any comments, things you want to put out there, go ahead and put it on my YouTube, or feel free, of course, to email me or text me if you have any questions about the new grammar or anything in class in general. So, all right, thank you so much, and I will catch you again next week. Oh, and real quick, I do want to give a shout out to Lucy. We missed you today and hope you're feeling better from your fever. So we'll hope to see you next week as well. Thanks.